welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and you know, I don't know what happened to this year. It seemed like we just started 2022 yesterday, and now we're on the final days of 2022. But I can say that it's been such a joyride, as so many great things have happened, and I can't wait to get 2023 started. I have to wait, but I just want to talk about 2022, all the great things that happened, and some of the things that wasn't so great that happened in this past year. And we're going to invite several different friends on the show to talk about their 22, 2022, and also kind of touch bases on 2023. But I can't even start a show without introducing my absolutely wonderful, sensational executive producer, co-host, Dr. Denise Michelle Cooley.
It's Michelle Denise Cooley. You did that on purpose. I know you did that on purpose, but thank you. Thank you. Yeah, 2022. Remember when you were a kid? The year just went by slowly. And as you become an adult, it just goes by quickly. And it's like, wow, how old am I again? Oh my goodness. But yeah, 2022, it was a great year. Some great things have happened to us, people we've met, things we got to learn about ourselves, great things, successes, challenges. So yeah, I'm really excited about the show today. Get everyone's kind of perspective, across the board. What about you?
Well, just like you said, it's been a lot of successes, been a lot of challenges, been a lot of deaths, and it's been a learning experience for a lot of people to just sit back and just think about and reflect
Mm-hmm.
on what can we do to make the new year coming up better. And I think that we all have our own stories, and we all have our own thoughts on what we want to do. But Michelle, what I want to do is I want to start off and just say how thankful that we are to, you know, almost. We still got a couple of days left.
Mm-hmm.
Almost end this year and open our arms for the new year. So wherever you're watching this at, wherever you're listening to it, whatever, we want you to be part of this conversation. You can go to the StreamYard, or you can go to Facebook, YouTube, uh, LinkedIn, wherever you're watching that, and just ask us any questions, ask the panel, ask other people that's going to be chiming in anything that you want to. We want to hear from you. We want to hear how your 2022 went. Michelle, I want to get this started. Can you please tell our viewers and our listeners the title of the show, the purpose of the show, and let's get it started. It ain't nothing but it's a New Year party.
Yes. Title of the show is 2022, a year of reflection. And we're going to talk about the lessons we've learned in this year, 2022, and reflect on what and who made huge impacts in our lives in 2022, and discuss our hopes and dreams for the new year coming, 2023. I know there's a lot going on in people's lives, and there's only an hour show, so we can just think of that one thing, let's say. So and we have our guests today who are chiming in. We have,
Well, we got three
yes,
already
I'm
right here.
putting them on. Dr. Eric Hall Sr. We have Teresa Diamond, and we have Clem Johnson on the show right now. They have been favorite guests on the show, and I guess we can start with Miss Teresa Diamond. What are the lessons you learned this year in 2022, Teresa?
Well, I've always been a person that saw a glass half full, but 2022 was very despondent for me. Personally, from some losses, I lost my mom, who was my hero. Um, but I also took a lot of time to reflect and just listen and watch people. And I've been looking through a lens of post COVID. And so I've been preoccupied with observing people's behaviors and things like that. And I think that there's a lot to that society is missing. It's like we need to be re-socialized or something. So I've been like focused on just observing people's behaviors and interactions with others. And I've also at the same time has been practicing more kindness, even with strangers myself. Because I come from a school of thought. And excuse me, my voice goes in and out because I got a little cold. But I come from the school of thought that if you want peace, be peace. If you whatever it is you desire other people to be, you have to demonstrate it. So I just been kind of focused on that. And I'm looking forward to 2023. Um, I just bought myself a new diary, and I haven't had time to write, but I
Oh,
I think it's important because it's a shift in my life. I'm 65, um, and I'm looking at things differently, and I need to document it. I'm also working on my book. The young man that I've consented to write my book, so I've been reflecting on some things in the past. So I'm looking forward to 2023 and devoting myself to things that I care about and
Wow.
things that I don't care about. Easily let them go to the side or someone else. It's not my job. Like I used to think it was always my job to whatever it is I know I have to do. I don't. So I'm going to kind of scale down a bit and focus on things I really have a passion for.
Wow. Thank you, Teresa. What
Thank
about you,
you.
Clem? What are the lessons, at least I'm sure there's plenty, but what is, let's say, one lesson that you learned this year? Clem?
I think
Oh,
the biggest lesson I learned this year was, can you hear me? Can you hear
yes.
me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. I think the biggest lesson I learned this year was that I need to share. And I spend most of my time, other than family and all that, focusing on building kind of tight hold decision making processes, being the one that has always spread knowledge throughout. But I've come to realize in 2022 that I need to open that up more and in forward in business and within my life, I need to have a group of people that I can trust and that I can share in what I'm doing in the company Clemtech LLC. So I guess the biggest thing for me in 2022 is opening up and sharing what I know and being able to take some of the lessons learned in from other people as I move forward in my business.
Thank you. What about you, Dr. Hall?
Thank you. Thank you for having me today. And I just think about the things that we already said from our panelists in this. I think the biggest thing I was able to take away from this year, because like Ms. Diamond, I lost my mom, and so, and I'm a very optimistic person. The glass is always going to be halfway full. And so it's in those times we got to, self-reflect and self-care. I think that's the biggest thing for me. I'm always moving and shaking, and I'm an introvert at heart, but in nature, because of the positions that I have to be an extrovert and turn those things on. And so I don't know how to shut off. I don't know how to stop. And so the Lord has really sat me down to focus on family, to care about the small things because they're really big things. we take for granted that everybody's always going to be here. And so I'll talk to that person later. I'll go kiss them tomorrow, and tomorrow's not promised to any of us, So for me, it was really just the hard lesson of really understanding that, like Teresa said, if you want goodness to happen, you got to be goodness. Whatever it is that you want to be projected, you got to be that first. And so I really loved, in spite of everything that's gone on in 2022, from a negative aspect, I really love what it taught me when I'm able to sit still and learn from those lessons. I'm usually given those lessons in life and never really hear those words come back to me. And so that's what it really meant for me, to really just sit back and reflect on everything, make it as important as it should be.
Wow, thank you. I'm going to just say for myself, and Dr. Cooley will end with you, but for me, I learned how to get out of my comfort zone in my professional life. I was laid off earlier this year, but I knew it was coming. But another company hired us right away, which was great. Now, I could have stayed with this other company. It's nothing that they treated me perfectly. They were great, but I wanted to just do more. I didn't want to just stay where I was comfortable. So I took a chance and I applied for another position outside the company, and I got it. And the weirdest thing is that I got it so quick. I didn't expect it to happen so quick. I was like, oh, wow. But it was the right choice for me. So I guess what I learned about myself is to take chances, get away from my comfort zone, because you can do a job, you can do it perfectly, good pay, benefits, etc., and be comfortable. But I feel like you always have to be learning and growing in your different skill set, because you're not going to grow. If you're doing the same thing all the time, you're not going to grow. And, that's it for me. One of the things. What about you, James? What did you learn? The lesson you learned about yourself this year?
I learned so many lessons. First of all, just like what Dr. Hall just said, you learn how to be still. You learn how to listen more to God and let Him lead. I learned that everybody don't care the same way that you do, but you still have to continue to care for them. I learned to open up my heart a lot more because just as well as I am, Michelle, that we don't let too many people in our lives, but we have to open up our hearts a little bit more and let it be God led, and He bring people in your world based on His plan for you, and we have to be able to sit back and listen, and learn about the people that He bring in our lives, because it's just for a purpose. And in order to achieve the ultimate goal that God wants us to do, we have to let Him surround us with the right people. But we have to be very cognitive, making sure that these are the people that He planned in our lives. So it's so many things that I learned, but we're going to take a station break. But we're going to come back. We're going to pick it up. And I just like I said, I done ate a half a bag of popcorn already. We just got started. So if you want to be part of this great conversation, all you have to do is just go to the comments and ask us any question you want to. It's your life. We'll be back shortly after the break.
chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? In everything that you do.
Welcome back to It's Your Life. I'm your host, Dr. James JC Cooley. And wow, this is just reflecting on what each of the panel members are talking about and how 2022 affected them, good, bad, or indifferent. It's something that I think that we all have to, uh, I call it just sit back and be still and just think about what can we do to make 2023 better. What goals, what dreams, what hopes, what plans, what purpose, what are our goals and our objectives? I think that's important, so, and I hope that you all feel the same way about the importance of this. Michelle, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Yes, most definitely. Hold on one second. James, take the call.
Clem, I got
I'm sorry about that, audience. Okay, so one thing I want to talk about is, 2022 is a lot that's gone on in our lives, but there's also about self-care and taking care of yourself. We all have busy lives. We always want to be there for whether family and friends. But into 2023, two-part question. Do you feel that you did enough self-care this year? And if not, what do you plan? What are your plans are to change on taking care of yourself? Basically, you can't be everything to everybody. So what are your plans? And let's start with Dr. Hall.
Wow. Did we do enough? I would say no. In learning how to self-care and take time for self, my wife and I do some things already. We go get our medi-pedis together. We go get our 2-hour massage in or 90 minutes or what have you. And, I just think about now in the total package. There's so much, as Ms. Diamond eloquently spoke about, the mental health part of things. We all feel like at times or another that we're going to lose it. And PTSD is something that we should be aware of. And so I just think the more time you take to do self-care, you're able to preserve things and add time back onto your life. And that's really what our core focus is. We're switching when people do New Year's resolution, and we used to do that also, but now it's about listening to God and God's plan for your life, because then now, you're vibrating and your frequency at a different level, and God keeps that provision in there to sustain you through the journey according to his plan, so I think that's it for me, just being able to really be conscious of that.
What about you, Teresa?
Well, I agree with Dr. Hall, and I'll say this. I think that when you're a warrior, you tend to go to war. And when you're at war, you're focused on what's before you. And it's not so much about the end game of winning, but you're in it. And I think that when we're overindulged in it, whatever that it is, I think that we tend to allow ourselves to fall to the wayside. At least that's what I've done. And as a consequence, I have had to spend more time now in this last year reflecting on my health and looking at what things I could have done better and can do better. To I want to be around. I want to be around and not just sitting there. I want to be physically able to do what I want to do, go where I want to go, um, and I want to be able to still contribute in a different way, but to be healthy and do it. And I'm focused on it. I bought a bike. It's been sitting in my garage for 6 months. I don't mind saying that's what I did, but that's a start.
That's right.
And and so I'm trying plant-based burgers as opposed to some of the trying to change some of my eating habits.
Mhm.
But I think that most people who are focused on whatever it is that they are passionate about, they oftentimes forget themselves and forget that if you don't take care of yourself, what you're trying to accomplish is only partially accomplished in the way in which you really want. You don't think about it that way because you're doing your best, you're putting your best efforts in, but
Mhm.
you don't think about that because you're out there just doing it. And when we're spinning our wheels, we need to kind of step back, like someone else on the panel said, step back, reflect, and look at what things you probably could have done more of or better at if you were in a more physical, spiritual, and emotional state. And I'm just speaking for myself. I know that I haven't done that in the ways in which I preach to other people to do. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on me to be a better person in better health and better condition so I can teach people. I want to teach everything I know to someone else.
Wow. Thank you, Teresa. What about you, Clem?
Well, looking at the question, you I really appreciate my faith, and I'm really comfortable in my faith and my relationship with God and Lord. And I do a lot of reflecting throughout the year, determining what kind of person that I want to be and what kind of person I am. Uh, and then the Clems that are out there. And what I mean by all the Clems, grandfather, Clem the father, Clem the husband, Clem the businessman, Clem the friend. And honestly, I'm pretty sad. I think in 2022, I've I I've done and accomplished the things that I wanted to do in life as being a better person up under my faith and being a better person in the Clendom. That everybody has their own story about all the facets that they have to be in their lives, and I'm pretty happy with that. Moving on to 2023, I just like to continue, and if there's one thing that I would really like to do is to 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 work more toward my philanthropy. To give more of my time to youth programs, to give more of my time to faith programs, and to give more of my time to religious programs and friends and friends that need me because really need someone to look up to. I'll put it that way.
Thank you, Clem. Thank you, Clem. What about you, James? What did you feel you did a lot of self-care this year? If yes, that's great. If no, what are your plans to change that in the coming year?
I believe that you know we I did a lot of self care. I changed a lot of things that I should not have been doing. Eating habits, uh, keeping my promises to myself about losing the weight and just being devoted and dedicated to getting out there, taking care of yourself. Because just like what Teresa just said, we want to be around. And in order to be around, we want to take care of everybody else around us, but we forget about ourselves. And so I believe that we made a lot of changes in that perspective. And giving, we always have gave, especially to the youth programs and senior citizens and other things. I just think that just refocusing on staying committed to what promises you have made yourself, and most importantly, taking care of yourself. Because if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of others, and you're not going to be around. And so I have learned over this year to value that a lot more, so that I can be around to be a good husband, a good father, a great friend, and continue to bring whatever I can to other people's lives.
Thank you. I would say for me, I have been compared to, like, the story about Mary and Martha. I am Martha to the T. I don't know. I think it's embedded in me. I've always been like this. Like James has told his friends, like, oh, after you finish, when you're eating a meal, watch out for your plate, because after you take that last bite, Michelle will grab it and start washing dishes. And it's the truth. I've always been like that. And I think for me, I like to get stuff out the way, because I don't want to do it later. But when that happens, you're missing the family time, the friend time. Like if you're hosting a barbecue, you want to make sure everyone's okay. That's great. But you need to be there to relax and enjoy, listen to the conversation. So I realize, like what Jesus said to Martha, that Mary's doing basically, she's doing the most important thing by sitting down and listening. And I need to do that. I know it's a work in progress, because when I see those dishes or something, I want to get right to it. But that's the only way, as far as self-care, that can really decompress and really enjoy. The dishes and whatever will take care of itself. But yeah, I got it bad. I really do. I could never be a food server or waitress, because I will get you out the restaurant really quick.
I'm glad you shared that, because I think when we have this next meal coming up, I know to separate myself from you and so I can get a chance to sop up my biscuit with the juices on my plate.
Hey, Dr. E, you have no idea. If you turn your head this way for a second or so, and you look back and your plate is gone. It's like, I wasn't done it.
And James is like, hey, baby, can you just sit down and relax? Oh, gotta do the dishes. Give me a couple of minutes. I'm like, oh, Michelle, that is so wrong. You need to relax. The stuff will take care of itself. And I've been like that since I was little. Maybe I got it from my mom or grandma. I have no idea, but I need to really let that go.
And we do need to relax. But we're going to take a station break. But we're going to come back and we're going to pick it up. This is such an interesting conversation that we're having. And I don't want this party to stop. So I tell you want to be part of this conversation, listen to audience, viewers, just let us know. Join in. Send comments. It's Your Life. I'm Dr. James JC Cooley. We'll be back shortly after the break.
So, this is the Warriors, right? This is the Warriors, right? The Warriors! If you tell yourself you're gonna do something, you gotta do it. So you commit, and that last, create, collaborate, commit with what? Commit with what? We commit with confidence. Confidence is you know that you can do it regardless of what anybody tells you that you cannot do. You know deep inside you can do anything you set your mind to. So the 4 C's is create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Everybody say it with me. Create, collaborate, commit with what? Thank you. Let's go ahead and receive another round of applause.
Welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and just like we just played that commercial, anytime that you set your mind to do something, you're probably gonna have naysayers that's gonna tell you that you can't do it. You have to first of all create, collaborate, commit. You have to commit with confidence, and that's what 2023 is about. Is we set goals, we set New Year's resolutions, we set all of these things, but many people, I'm going to tell you, that's only for that day. they say we gonna do this. That's just that day only. And tomorrow, like, well, I know I said I was gonna do it, uh, but my point is we have to commit to things that we're gonna do the whole year, not just one day, not just Christmas, not just New Year's, not just Easter. And it comes to faith as well. We have to commit. We have to continue to follow. We have to continue to take care of ourselves, and we have to continue to love. So with that being said, I'm gonna turn it back over to Michelle.
Thank you, James. Okay. Besides family and friends, this is a question. Who made the biggest impact in your life this year? We're going to start with Clem.
Ooh. I would say Ashish Shah. Ashish Shah is my business and my friend. Ashish has a very, very large company that does extremely well in the United States government and government contracting. His company is called VSolve, very big company. And Ashish I was introduced to him, and he just took a hold of me and became my mentor. But I was going through some issue business, and I had a conversation to him, and it was some financial stuff. And Ashish just took care of it. I didn't even ask him; he just took care of it. And the conversations that we were business, he would go through me with processes. How you do this and how you do that. What are you thinking about when you're developing this strategy for your company? And then the biggest piece and the biggest impact he gave me was I called him one day and he didn't answer the phone. And so I called his office, and his office told me, one of the program managers says, you can't talk to him right now because he's out on sabbatical in India and he doesn't talk to anybody then. And I hung the phone up, and 5 minutes later, I got a conversation from him. And he said, Ashish, you're in India, you're doing your sabbatical. He says, yes, only talk to the important people. And Clem, you're important to me. And I was like, wow. But that's the person that had the biggest impact with me on something I really care about is business, but also not the same faith, but what he has with his faith kind of rubs off on me.
Wow. Thank you, Clem. What about you, Dr. Hall? Besides family and friends, who made the biggest impact in your life this year?
Yeah, I don't even know how to answer that with, besides family and friend. I think with the year that I had, especially psychologically, losing my best friend, my mom, and all that, um, watching my wife care for me, giving me time to grieve, and doing all the things that maybe that I would normally be doing, but didn't know, I wasn't there to do them, for her to make that deposit back into me. And then, so my double-edged sword would be my wife. But then, the second part of this, and I have many good people in my life that pour wisdom into me, but in the time that I needed someone, unbeknownst to me, God sent me an angel when he sent me my brother, Dr. James Cooley. It came at a time in my life where I'm trying to hold it together now. But I needed somebody, and he stepped in. So I'm gonna stay there so I don't cause you guys to do what I'm doing on this side. But we all need that.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Hall. What about you, Teresa?
Well, I've always been a child of God and knew it. And but God has really shown up in my life with a lot of grace, a lot of mercy. And so I'm blessed to have some really good friends that I can call upon if I want. But God has showed up in my life in such a beautiful way at the worst times in my life this year. And so I would say God. My relationship with God has been, it was already good. I was already in a good place, but it reinforced why I love God so much.
Wow.
Uh,
Thank you, Teresa. Thank you. What about you, Dr. Cooley?
Without question, there is no question. It have to be Dr. Hall, um, because he came in my life, and I'm not saying that just because he said it. He
all
came
right, come on now, stop it now.
he came in my life, and Michelle, you already know this. He came in my life when I needed someone that I could just talk to, open up, just share my heart with, besides you, Michelle. And I had no one, no one. Over the last 6 months, um, I can't even explain uh, what that feel like. But when I say friend, when I say true friend, when I say I can talk to this man about anything, and he know he can do the same, and it's just gonna be he and I. Um, I just thank God every single day for bringing uh, Dr. Hall in my life, and bringing other folks in my life as well, like Clem and a lot of other folks. But Dr. Hall has by far been, to me, the biggest influence of 2022, and I'm just praying and hoping that it continue to happen, not just 2023, but for the rest of our life.
Wow. You know, I was thinking about the question I asked everybody else, and two things. One, I didn't know this person. This was a podcast host, but he said something that just stuck with me. He was talking to this woman and he interrupted her. He said, ma'am, because she kept interrupting him. He goes, ma'am, please listen, not to get ready to respond, but listen to really hear what I'm saying. And that's really stuck with me. I was like, wow, that's I never heard someone really break it down like that, right? But piggybacking on my husband, you know, his health, physical, spiritual, mental, is it, 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 we're joined basically. And when Dr. Hall came into his life, and I think it's just me, and it's no excuse, I am a New York City girl, suspicious, wary about everybody, right? So, I protect him, and I wanted to make sure, that anyone coming new into his life means him well. But what I found out is that his friendship with Dr. Hall has allowed him to express things as a man that maybe I would not understand as his wife. James can talk to me about anything, but certain things a man would understand more than a wife. And I'm just putting it out there. So I want to thank you, Dr. Hall, for that, for the relationship and the friendship you've given James, because, you need that. You need that one person. Yes, you have God. Yes. But it's always good to have somebody you can actually, another person here on earth that you can share that with. And that's a beautiful thing, So I want to thank you for that. I want to thank you as well, Clem, for being a new friend in James's life. And because when he's good, I'm good. So that's all I want to say on that topic.
I just want to say that I'm a native New Yorker too. We have the same kind of thing, we don't trust anybody. But I think it's beautiful to hear people talk about the kind of relationships that help sustain them and support them. Mostly when you hear that from men, that especially is very heartwarming to me. Mm-hmm. Not that I didn't think men could do it. It's just that I haven't heard a lot of men talk about it. Mm-hmm. And so I'm really appreciative of hearing this right now. And I love this. This is beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. I always believe that you have to demonstrate what you want to be. You have to demonstrate it. And so when I hear that, I just take off in my mind about how many young people, if they're watching or if they hear about it, they hear that and that reinforces, behavior that we want them to learn. Mm-hmm. And that it's not a weakness or anything else to join in with another human being that you can feel that camaraderie and that spirit with, that can give you something that you need at the time that you need it, without any strings attached or any motives. I mean, it's I call it clean love, actually.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Absolutely. Yeah. I just thank you guys for the kind words. I think it's more about our actions. I think Ms. Diamond hit it on the head. It don't get no better than that when you can be what it is that you want to have in return happen to you. Treat people with kindness, being able to grant that favor that God has granted to us. Mm-hmm. And when we understand that prayer and just really learn to live on it, it opens up a bunch of things, like you said, especially for us, people of color. We've always taught as men to, don't show that soft side and be tough and push past the pain. And, and it's never really broken down to us how to exhibit, this love, this clean love, right, without it looking and appearing to weak for somebody to take advantage. I'm from the East Coast too. So, what, you stupid or something, you can't let nobody see that stuff, we always ready to go there. But it's such more soul gratifying. Yes. When you can do this clean love. I love that term. I'm gonna borrow it, Ms. Diamond.
I have stolen it as well, and I might just put that in my next book. We're gonna take a station break, but this is so wonderful. We're gonna take a station break. We're gonna come back and we're gonna continue this clean love. If you want to be part of this conversation, all you do is go to the comments. It's your life. I'm Dr. James JC Cooley.
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
Hello. Hey, I'm James Cooley. I am the founder and CEO of the JC Cooley Foundation, Options, Opportunities, / Choice Program. Our primary mission is to help build a foundation of our youth and young adults and communities. And we encourage everyone to dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. And the way that you do that is, first of all, you got to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. You have to know that you are here for a purpose. You also have to be able to step out your comfort zone and do things that you probably didn't think that you can do.
Fight against. And if you want my opinion, I let it take me away. Only relief is the four on the floor and the crowd that goes, oh, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, oh, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. And, I believe that, every day should be a New Year's celebration, and especially with people that you care about and you love. And we're able to share some of the most intimate things about us and just share it with others and just bring love to others. I think that's so important. Um, and I believe that that's a relief and on a person. I know myself being able to share my thoughts, my ideas genuinely, and for people to sit back and listen and understand exactly what is meant by that. Just like what you said, Teresa, a lot of people won't, especially men, they're not going to share those thoughts because they're gonna think that they're gonna think I'm a punk or something like that. It ain't about nothing like that. It's about your true feelings, your heart, what's going on in your mind. So
Yes.
so I think it's important that we do that. And I'm gonna change the topic just a little bit because we've been talking about 2022, and we got the better part of 7 minutes to go. And I want to know what changes or what plans or what New Year revolution that each one of you guys might have. And we're going to start with you first, Clem. What are your plans for 2023?
Well, my plans for 2023, I have a few. One of them, I want to stay within the weight that I am now. I got 2 pounds I got to lose. And I know 2 pounds is a lot, but 2 pounds is really important to
2
me
pounds.
to get to the baseline.
Come on, Cliff.
Set your goals and set it achievable and have confidence. And but that's a big thing for me in 2023 is get that 2 pounds off and set me a new baseline. Another thing that's really important to me in 2023 is finishing what I started in 2022. I have a lot of business goals that are on the threshold, and I'm an action person. And the actions that I take in 2023 have to close out those adventures started in 2022, and a lot of those are in some of the things that were and and the last one is in my marriage, just to be there, and that stays in the health piece, to stay healthy. My wife has some medical issues, and I have to keep myself healthy in order to be able to do what I do as a caregiver for her.
Wow. What about you, Teresa?
It sure isn't 2 pounds. No offense. I'm gonna send you a big package. Make sure you gain 2 pounds. No, I'm joking. I intend to laugh. I intend to laugh more in 2023 than I have in the last 5 years.
Amen.
I say that because there,
Look at
I
this.
laugh at myself all the time, but I noticed that I haven't really been laughing. And even though there's a lot of serious things going on, laughter is good for the soul. And so I intend to laugh in 2023. And I also experienced, I think, for the first big time, not in a small way, in a huge way, allowed myself to show up as vulnerable. Well, I'm known as one of the strongest people in my family. But when my mom died, I put everybody on notice. Don't look to me. I need help. And they were like, what? And so you teach people how to treat you. So they were used to me being in the driver's seat doing all these things, and I just didn't. And I didn't fall apart. Sometimes strong minded people tend to think that if they stop and take in and fall apart, that does something to them that's not good. Well, no. I allow myself to grieve. I'm still in grieving. Um, and I didn't try to handle everything. So I let myself be vulnerable in a way that my family had never seen me before. And it was good for me. So I can be vulnerable with them. I can probably find it easier to be vulnerable with others if I need to be.
Wow. What about you, Dr. Holt?
Yeah, it's so much been said that, I think that it's important. And I mean, Ms. Diamond's just spatting 100 right now. I got a care package for Clem too, because I got 25 pounds. So, we're going to share this love. Right. So, and be vulnerable, there's scripture, there's good words that say, cast your cares and your burdens onto the Lord. And it's in those times that's what we're supposed to be doing. Now, preferencing that we're going into 2023 and need to have plans, everybody's going to get W-2s for taxes and see how well you did. And like Clem said, whatever you didn't complete, you want to pass that on. Ms. Diamond says she got a journal. I think all those elements that was discussed today was very important. And we need to really be conscious of, the mental health as being a financial part of the way we look at our wellness. Your health is your true wealth. Yes. So we got to gauge our wealth based on how we're doing. And so while we looked in our money aspects, we go look for the return of investment, right? Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of ROIs. When we say ROIs, Clem and Doc, we all think return on investment, but there's a lot. Return on intelligence, return on impact, return on integrity. We talk about honesty, integrity, and ethics, and all these things, man. That's a dollar amount. If we can change the definition, and I'll leave it here. Stop talking about this money capital and people capital got to be the expression for 2023. Wow. To be able to truly understand that money is nothing more than an ideal backed by confidence. And when you have confidence in self and when you have confidence in other people and being equally yoked, Doc, you got so much stuff that's for the stage with your hard-boiled egg being yoked. So when it's dropped for these times, man, we can sit here and know that it ain't great splatter all over the place. We got each other's back. The yoke is done. We got it. That's the village. So I'm going to stay here, and I'm excited about what 2023 has for all of us. I know this ain't going to be our first or last panel, and I just wish you guys a happy and very prosperous new year.
Thank you. Michelle, real quickly.
Two things. One, I want to start meditating. That's kind of like, I need that quiet time at work and everything like that. I need some alone time just with the Lord. Second thing, I need to visit my mom a little bit more frequently. She's still back in Queens. She's a healthy 92 years old. And I need to spend more time back home in New York. That's my plan, to do a couple of visits throughout the year instead of just a week or two or flyer here, but I need to spend more time with my mom.
Wow. So we're down to the last 30 seconds of it. And I just want to continue to build upon everything that we did, and also maintain great character, honesty, integrity, and ethics is what I live by. And I just want to continue to do these things and stay in faith. I want to thank each and every last one of you for taking the time to come on the James Cooley Show. It's your life. Happy New Year. Most importantly, our listeners out there, I'm wishing you a happy New Year, but I'm kind of out of time right now, and the network is going to get me. But have a dream big, think big, and be big. And I love you. We'll see you in 2023. It's your life. I'm James Cooley.
Straight out of my head. Guess we